I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laaksen.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Good afternoon or good lunchtime to everybody who is watching. Today, or at least earlier on today, we have Daniil MEDVEDEV versus Botic van der ZANDSCHULP, who are competing at the Rotterdam 500 tournament for a place in the quarterfinals to play Felix Auger-Aliassime. So that is the match that we are going to be covering today here on GTL, and we will also later on be covering the Jannik Sinner versus versus Stefanos Tsitsipas, or Titanic match effectively for a second round, especially at a 500 event, which will be, of course, kicking off at 6:30 GMT, which for Central European, that will be 7:30 in the evening. Already start to see some comments flying through, which is excellent. So a couple of hellos from A. Pierce and Ram asking, how are you, mate? I am doing absolutely fine. My voice is pretty much near enough recovered, which is pretty good, which I'm pretty happy with, as we've got both players who are out on the court at the moment, just to get tying up their shoelaces and getting ready for the ball toss. In a slightly revamped stadium. So any of you who have watched any of the coverage so far, you can see that instead of coming out from like the side of the court, they've got this sort of weird walkway going down onto the court from the top of the image, or from like the top of the stage, you could almost call it from our perspective, which is a really cool sort of introduction. It's good to see tournaments around the world trying out different introductions. Instructions for players of how they can introduce them, and I like the fact that you're walking in between the crowds, going down onto the court itself. Very gladiator-esque. Oshi saying yo, and what a second round match tonight. Exactly, Oshi. We have got an absolutely cracking second round match tonight. It's going to be taking place. We will probably talk and judge and jump on that match from bits and bobs throughout the entirety of this one, but this also promises to be very much a bit of a cracker as well. Here we have two players, one of which is the local homegrown favourite, or the one in which the majority of the fans are going to support, in Botic van der ZANDSCHULP. I hope I'm saying that name right. I know it's I think there's only really a few people in the world that can pronounce his name correctly that live outside of the Netherlands. But of course, he's the Dutch number one. Had a fairly straightforward first round match yesterday. It was one of the last first round matches to sort of get completed. As we can see that he beat Quinton Hayes, who was the French big server, in 3 sets, losing the first one 7-5, winning the second 6-4 and 7-6. And of course, he's playing Daniil MEDVEDEV, who came through a very tricky encounter, and that will probably lead into a lot of people's thoughts and expectations for this match, as he just literally came through a very tough encounter from Alejandro Dadovic Fekina in the last round. However, there was a lot of frailties that were started to be shown in Medvedev's game. He started to really play up and act to his box. Are we going to see that in this match? We possibly could do if Botic is able to stick in those points as much as possible. So there's a range of things that are happening here. So what I would like you to do, now that as the players are currently warming up on court, is I would like your predictions as to how you think this match will go. So if you could put them in the comments now, that'd be fantastic. So like I said, in the comments box on your side, if you could put your prediction. I'm going to be a bit slightly left field with this one, looking at it and looking at the way in which Medvedev is still acting to his box. The fact that he's looks as though a lot of players are finding ways to actually get a lot of easiest points, or working past that counter-punching nature of Medvedev's game. I think Botic may do this in 3, is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Botic van der ZANDSCHULP to do this in 3. I just got a feeling that the home crowd could probably play a big factor in Botic's performance, maybe increase it by like that 5 or 10%. And I don't know if because Botic sticks around, if he can stick around in Medvedev's, in the sets right to the bitter end, will Medvedev start to get frustrated? Will that start to have an effect? We are already, though, starting to see predictions fly through the chat, which is excellent. So a person is saying Medvedev in 3. Oshin is saying we've got the exact score. We've got a 6-4, 7-5 to Medvedev. So we've got a little bit of a, well, looks at the Botic sort of sticking around as much as possible in both those service games. And win captain. What a name for a account. Medvedev 6-4, 6-4 in straight sets. And also Tim, you are saying Medvedev in 3 as well. So we've got a couple of you that say Medvedev in 3, a couple of you saying Medvedev in straight sets. I'm going to see your left field commentator saying saying Botic in 3. But that's just a hunch and based off the little bits of evidence that we have at the moment for that there. something that's already just popping up on the screen if anyone's also watching alongside is their head-to-head, which is not good for Botic. They've played 3 times. They've played 3 times so far in their so far in their careers, and in all 3 occasions, Daniil Medvedev has won all 3. That was the most one was the most pressing thing at the US Open. That was in 2021. That was Botic van der Zandschulp's big breakthrough, and he won that one 6-3, 6-0, 4-6, 7-5. But that Daniil Medvedev, won that match against Botic van der Zandschulp. That was in the quarterfinals, and that's what sort of stopped Botic's run effectively in that tournament. However, Medvedev then went on and won the US Open that year, so we can certainly say that it kicked off there. And then, of course, they met in 2022. So this almost this time last year at the Australian Open. That was straight sets, 6-4, 6-4, 6-2 in the round of 32. So that would have been the 3rd round. And then they also met later on in the year in 2022 at the Cincinnati Masters in the 2nd round, where Medvedev won 6-4, 7-5. So they've had two meetings in the. They've had 2 meetings in the 2 meetings at the Grand Slams and 1 meeting at a Masters event. So what we've got also in the chat, we've got when the match started. The match is about to kick off. The players have just finished their warm-ups. And are going to sit down at their benches. And we've got another one saying Botic is always a 2nd round player. That's a little bit harsh from this Facebook user, which I can't be able to pronounce the name now. So sorry about that. That is a little bit harsh. I would say that he's always a 2nd round player. Botic can go far in a lot of tournaments. He did. His most impressive result last year, if I can remember correctly, was getting to the final of the Munich 250, where he had to pull out, unfortunately, because against his match against Holger Rune, and all those bits there. What are the fun things to be having here, as we can see the players getting ready to serve, is that, did I watch the Alcaraz game? Yes. Oh, no, I didn't watch the Alcaraz game. I was unfortunately asleep at that time. It was too late in the night for me, but it was a good result for Alcaraz. And, of course, Ram is picking up the fact that it is Man United versus Barcelona tonight as well. Absolutely cracking Europa League game. Lots of good sport all around. This should be fun. Right, so Medvedev has just picked up the balls, and I think we've already got a problem with the balls. I think one of them is flat, or he thinks that they're flat, as the chair umpire is just checking through all the balls. I don't know what Medvedev's problem is with these balls. Even the umpire doesn't even know what the problem is with the balls. So that situation has somewhat rectified itself. You can make sure you can like this video as well. That'd be brilliant. And whatever platform you're watching this on, I want to get as many likes as possible. I'd like to, if possible, to get above 25. I know it's an early in the day, but get above 25 would be excellent. So we've got Medvedev serving on a 2nd serve. So we just got forehand by Medvedev, back forehand by Thingy, Botic, forehand by Medvedev. And Medvedev hits it into the net. So we've got our first sort of baseline exchange on the first point, and Medvedev picks up. Medvedev ends up forcing his first unforced error of the match. So we currently got Botic van der Zandschulp up 15 up. We'll just make sure that we got the thing up there. Wicked. Okay, Medvedev has just hit a ball out wide, and van der Zandschulp was unable to get anything on it to get it back onto the island. We move on to the next point. So Medvedev goes for the serve, goes down the tee, and Botic is able to get something onto it, but Medvedev runs up to the net and is able to smash it straight down the tee again to make it 30-15. So after that first into exchange on the point, Medvedev is already 30-15 up on his serve. So Medvedev's just going through the motions. Medvedev tries to go out wide with his service motion, but hits the net. So we've got a 2nd serve here. Medvedev finger out, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand up line by Medvedev. So we've got a bit of still a baseline exchange between both players. Medvedev is being caught long, but he's stuck in the point. Backhand by Botic, very slight. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, and Botic hits it long. Hits it beyond the tram lines, and Medvedev is 40-15 up. So somewhat strong start here by Medvedev. he'll be happy with the way in which this is going. You certainly will be happy about the way in which this is going. Cross court by Medvedev, and it goes long by Botic. So Medvedev holds his first service game, so it's 1-love now as the players go to change ends here. So so I would say a fairly strong-ish service game there by Daniil Medvedev. Lost the first point, but was able to win his next 4 points quite straightforwardly. He's blowing his nose again. I have a feeling that that Daniil has some sort of cold coming into this event, because in his last match against Alejandro, he was blowing his nose a lot, which suggests that he has some sort of cold or flu, which is plaguing him at the moment. That won't help him effectively for his ability to be able to breathe under big points-based situation when you need to take in as much oxygen as possible to function as best as you can. So Botic going for the serve. Goes down the tee, but he's just gone long, or goes down the center of the service box, and it goes long. So Botic, tee again, forehand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, forehand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, but he tries to hit the go inside out forehand, and it goes beyond the tram lines. Medvedev is 15-love up already. He is 15-love up already. And if you've got any comments or questions, please do put them in the chat. That'd be excellent. We want to get the chat blocks going as much as possible. So goes up the tee and is running to the net. A bit of serve and volley attempt there by Van der Zandschulp. Unfortunately, on the third point, in which it was Van der Zandschulp's second hit at the ball, he hits it beyond the tee again. So Medvedev is 30-love up. So already a half chance here for Medvedev on Van der Zandschulp's serve. So Van der Zandschulp goes up the tee. It is too long. Just goes beyond goes along the service box. So Van der Zandschulp double fault there by Van der Zandschulp. Tries to go out wide and really overhits it. Closer more to the baseline than it was the service box. So Medvedev here has 3 break points at the start of the first set to sort of really take a stranglehold of this first set here in Rotterdam. So Van der Zandschulp goes out wide. Medvedev's able to get a good backhand onto it. Van der Zandschulp goes up, takes it an inside out forehand, and is able to get it on the line perfectly to make it 15-40. Really good work there by Van der Zandschulp to be able to move it from one side to another. So Van der Zandschulp tries to go out wide, hits the net on his first serve. And then Van der Zandschulp just teeing up here. Goes in the middle of the box. Medvedev's able to get something onto it. A decent good deep return. We've got a bit of forehand to forehand exchange taking place at the back of the baseline. And backhand by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic, forehand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, forehand by Medvedev, and into the net. He ends up hitting it into the net. It is now 30-40, so 2 out of 3 break points chances have come. 2 out of 3 break point chances have gone. We are at the last break point here for Daniil to get this sort of early lead in this set. As Botic just collects his thoughts and collects his new balls that he's going to hit. So, cut down out wide, slightly long. So we have a second serve here for Botic. So Botic goes up the tee, Medvedev backhand down the line, and then we've got a bit where he's been shoved at all sides by Botic. Backhand, strong backhand by Medvedev. Forehand by Van der Zandschulp. Backhand. A little bit of a slice there by Botic to try and put some variety into it, and is able to, with a drilled backhand, go up the line to make it deuce. I can see Joe has joined the chat, which is good to see. Saying you're really happy with the fact that we're covering this match. Yeah, well, we're glad to cover this match there, Joe. We'll also be covering the Sinner versus Tsitsipas match later on as well. Okay, so a attempt to go out wide there by Botic. It goes beyond the tram lines. So Botic just gearing himself up for the next point. At the tee, forehand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, slice backhand by Botic, and trying to bring Medvedev forward. Medvedev's having none of it. We've got a slice again by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, slice by Botic, really going for it at the back of the court, both of them. Slice by Botic again, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, really long rally here. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic into the net. So the cat and mouse nature of that point comes to an end by Medvedev hitting the ball low enough for Van de Zandschulp not to be able to get enough purchase onto it to get it over the net and to continue the point. So Medvedev now has his fourth break point here. Medvedev has his fourth break point. Botic's just getting himself ready. Something's obviously distracted him in the crowd. So Botic going for the serve. Goes out wide. It goes long. It's not making many first serves, which is something to notice at the moment at the start of this match. Botic Van de Zandschulp. So Botic just giving himself up again. Goes to the tee. Medvedev's able to get a good purchase on that. Backhand by Botic. Forehand by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic and long. Backhand by Botic and long. Medvedev gets the early break here in Rotterdam to make it 2-love. Hung in there, got the fourth break chance. He had, we expect this of a player of the quality of Daniil Medvedev just to be able to compose himself after losing not taking the advantage of the free break points prior, but in the same service game on the advantage to then get it sorted, making the less of the mistakes. And so 2-love. So Medvedev goes for the serve, goes out wide. Botic's able to get something onto it, but it was a very good one, actually. He's now actually in control of this point. Comes forward. Medvedev is able, though, just to get it back. Medvedev down the line. Botic scrambling. He just about gets to it, and then Medvedev down the line again. Botic scrambles to get to the other side of the court, but hits it into the net. So we got to comments in the chat as well. I will come to those comments. Don't worry. Once we get to once we get to the sit down after the third game of this set. So Medvedev 15-love up here. Goes a serve out wide, hits his mark beautifully, and we're now at 30-love. Good if I could say it correctly, wouldn't it? Like I said, make sure you can smash the like button. That'd be excellent, and share this where possible. Cross court by Medvedev again. Another excellent serve by Medvedev, getting those 3 points when he can. 40-love. One of the most underrated qualities of Medvedev is the fact that his serve is not necessarily really pacey, but it is perfect at hitting its spot. So Medvedev goes for a serve again down the tee. Botic's able to get a good purchase onto it, and Daniil tries to go for a drive backhand down the line, but buries it halfway up the net. So Van de Zandschulp has a point here on Medvedev's serve. Medvedev, of course, trying to get to 3-love here in the first set. So Medvedev goes out wide. Botic's able to get something onto it and gets it past Medvedev. So Medvedev just doesn't hit it close enough to the line. Botic's able to read it perfectly, get a great purchase on the return, and hit it as a great winner on his forehand side. Good work there by Van de Zandschulp. So Medvedev goes across court. Good return there by Botic, and we've got a bit of a forehand exchange taking place, and Botic hits it long on a return. It was forced by Medvedev, so you could probably call that a forced error. But Daniil leads by 3 games to love here at the start of the first set on the centre court here at the Rotterdam Open, which is, of course, the Rotterdam Rotterdam ATP 500. So the questions or the comments we got that's come through the chat. First of all, from Matthew, saying the winner of this plays FAA. He does. FAA, of course, beat Grigor Barrère in straight sets earlier on. But Barrère, who's really starting to show some really good qualities on the main tour, looks like he could probably be somebody who could stick around on the main tour for a while with the quality of his game. Granted, he doesn't have any major weapons on him, which is the one thing FAA was able to deal with quite effectively in the previous match. But it is going well. And then you're saying as well, that match along with Sinner versus Steph are two crackers. They certainly are. Of course, Sinner versus Steph, which then leads on to the next comment that popped up, which is when Tsitsipas and Sinner match start from now. That is so we're currently at around about 12:30 my time. So we're 6 hours away. So in 6 hours' time, that's when Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Yannick Sinner is due to play. Jean, welcome to the chat, to the stream. You're saying you think Botic is injured. He doesn't look that good. It could possibly, you could certainly be correct there. It's I mean, at the moment he does look a little bit out of sorts, but I haven't seen any sort of stretching of any major part of his body, but we could start to see that later on. Okay, so both players. So just going back to their towel boxes, and as well. Thank you for saying hi as well, Gene. It's excellent, and we've already got some likes coming through. Like I said, if you make sure you hit the like button on this on the stream, that'd be excellent. We've got the home favourite Botic van der Zandschulp in his own country of the Netherlands versus Medvedev, former top 10 player. So on that serve there, van der Zandschulp went out wide. Medvedev was able to read it and get it back deep, and then van der Zandschulp on a inside-out forehand ended up smashing it, clipped the net, and went long. One of those unfortunate sort of net clips. Of course, Medvedev hoping to get the double break here. Down the tee by Botic, but it goes long or just hits to the wrong side of the tee. So Botic with a serve here. Goes down the tee again. Medvedev's able to read that really well. We've got a forehand exchange taking place. Really strong by Botic. Really putting a lot into it. Pushed Medvedev back well beyond the baseline. And Medvedev was unable to, on his return, get it over the net. We're now at 50-0. Gene saying we've got some stuff flying through. Gene saying that the commies, I mean the commentators, not people that support far left ideologies, are saying that he has some leg injury coming into this week. I think I've heard that as well. And then it's actually saying Cam is probably still at the Chapeau emotional support group. Something in the chat, which is causing, which is to do with Cam. I guess it's not Cam Murray. Okay, so we are, as I'm still trying to get my voice, we're at 30-15 here between Botic and Medvedev. Van der Zandschulp tries to go down the tee, hits the net, so we've got a second serve taking place here. So we're going down the tee again, actually get some effect, and Botic smashes it into the net. It is now 30-all here, 30-all. Medvedev now really within the actual seat to be able to possibly get a break here earlier on again to get a double break. So Van der Zandschulp going for the serve, goes out wide, hits the net, second serve here. Getting himself ready. Van der Zandschulp goes out wide again and goes long. Medvedev, another break point to possibly make it 4-love here. 4-love here in Rotterdam. So Botic just getting himself ready as Medvedev has a break point here to make a double break. So Botic goes out wide, able to get a good purchase onto it. And Medvedev is unable to get it, to keep it on the island. It goes beyond the tram lines on a backhand return. And we're now at deuce. So Botic goes down across court. Medvedev was able to get a good return onto it, but Botic was at the net and covered it off with a beautiful backhand redirection, effectively. Like a statue that you find in some Greek or Roman architecture. And we can see that some people are still not happy about we'll come to that a bit. Cross court by Botic. Cross court again. Medvedev goes up the line, and we're back to deuce. We're back to deuce here. Medvedev is determined not to give anything away here. I think we've got some Canadian fans in the chat by the support for Chapeau and Felix. That's good to see. So Botic is going cross court. Medvedev gets a purchase onto it, but not a great purchase. A complete deceleration of energy on that one, which causes Medvedev to end up bending it into the net. I think, as we can see, Botic's team just watching on in amusement. So Botic goes down the line. Medvedev goes up the court. And we've got a forehand-to-forehand exchange taking place at the moment. Backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic. Backhand at the line by Medvedev. Botic's able just to get to it. Forehand by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic. Botic's really pushing into the court at the moment, but hits the net on a cross-court inside-out forehand. The advantage has gone again. He cannot hold He cannot hold at this stage. He just cannot hold. Or take an advantage of an advantage in this scenario. So, Botic again at the service box. Goes out wide, or tries to go out wide, ends up bidding it into the net. We've got a second serve here. So, with this second serve, goes out wide again. Medvedev with a backhand, and then backhand again. Botic, though, runs to the net and is able to forehand swipe it away from the court to go advantage again on a game point. Will he be able to take advantage of this finally? Down the that was a very good work there by Botic. Really kept the aggression up in that point and was rewarded with the actual point itself. So Botic just gets teeing himself up again. Down the line, Medvedev's able to get a good purchase onto it. Medvedev, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev again, really pushing each other around the sides of the court. But as they decelerated the ball and both were slicing, Medvedev managed to force his opponent into making an unforced error by bidding it into the net. I will get onto your comments about Chapeau in a bit once we're through on this point. So, Medvedev standing far behind the court. Botic ends up firing it out wide, and Medvedev just cannot keep it on the island. And ZANDSCHULP has a break point again. And we can probably just quickly go to that. So Gene is saying, although I am half Dutch, I like Greek sport more than like Botic. I don't know why. That's an interesting point. Try you can think of some reasons, Gene. That'd be excellent for us to find out maybe later on in this match. Of course, Greek sport through last night, major win against Alexander Zverev. I say major. Zverev is still coming back from his injury issues. So Botic's second serve. Medvedev goes, really redirects it, is in control at this point at the moment. Able to get it up the line. Botic, though, still keeping in it with some degree of control. And then we have a backhand exchange taking place. Backhand again by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic. It was a slice down court. Backhand wide by Medvedev. So ZANDSCHULP is able to hold his service game here to make it 3-1 and to get on the board here in the first set. So, something that's been picked up here now is that Chapeau again, by Dutchie's Chapeau losing last night. That did happen again in the it was at Delray Beach this week as Medvedev goes down the line and then tries to go cross court but hits it wide. Medvedev hits it wide there as he tries to go cross court. Medvedev, Chapo, of course, lost last night at Delray Beach, unable to get a win or buy a win, it feels like, at this stage. He lost to the eventual winner last week of Wingbing Yu at the Dallas Open, and now loses at Delray Beach again, sort of going for a real rough patch at the moment. So Medvedev goes up the court, Botic's able to get something strong onto that, and then we've got a bit of a forehand to backhand exchange, cross court by Medvedev, down the line by Botic. Oh, and what a backhand by Medvedev, really pushed into the sides of the court, able to get good purchase across court, and it dipped low enough for Van de Zandschulp to be unable to do anything with that return of any significance, and he just ends up bopping it around. Yeah, that's good that some people didn't lose sleep over him. And then we got a good bit of play here by Medvedev. He's hanging around the baseline and smashes it at the net to make it 30-15. Looking very strong here, looking to make it 4-1. Thanks for the thumbs up, Cedric. So down tries to go across court there by Medvedev, unable to keep it in the service box. Then ends up clipping the net. That's not good. That's certainly not good by Medvedev. Now at 30 all, just needs to keep his head here. As we've all known, Medvedev hasn't had the best January, you could possibly say. Yes, he managed to get to the semi-finals of Adelaide, but lost quite comfortably to a slightly hampered Djokovic, as we have a good serve there by Medvedev. And then he ends up hitting the net. Good serve. Botic gets it back, and Medvedev ends up drilling it into the net. And it looks like he's may change his racket. Oh no, he's blowing his nose into his towel. I think the cold is really getting to him. Maybe a case of following Gene's information that it may be having the injured versus the ill. Medvedev tries to go across court, hits the net, unable to get anything onto that. So Medvedev with a serve. Botic just gets something onto it. Actually lands quite well for him. We've got a backhand exchange taking place. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic. Backhand, but it stays long in the tram lines on a ball that was trying to float onto the baseline. It stays on the wrong side of the tram lines and falls away to make it deuce. Who has a cold by G. Augusto? It looks like Medvedev has a cold. He keeps on blowing his nose, which suggests that his nose is bunged up. And given the fact that we're not on the grass court season, I think we can rule out suspected, grass allergies. That's a great one, Joe. That's a great image to remember by. As Van Zandschulp gets another break point here, able to really force Medvedev back and take control of that. Rally. So Medvedev just gearing up here to try and save another break point. Tries to go out wide, is unable to do anything with it as it slams into the net. Ooh, a bit of a weird ball toss there by Medvedev. Ends up catching it and then goes into the service box. We've got a bit of a backhand exchange there. Oh, Botic's taking control of the point. Forehand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic into the net. Forehand into the net. 2 break points have come and gone here for Van de Zandschulp. He's not taking them, and is Medvedev going to punish him for it? Of course, Daniil is the lowest seed left in the competition. as he goes out wide. Botic's able to get something onto it, but backhand around across court by Medvedev on the base, on the service line. Takes him to the advantage. Yeah, but you remember that Medvedev is the lowest seed left in the competition at number 6. We lost, of course, yesterday the second seed, Andrei Rublev, the 5th seed, Hubert Hurkacz, 8th seed, Alexander Zverev, and the 7th seed we lost on Monday in Pablo Carreño Busta. As Botic's able to take advantage of a bad net cord hit ball as it dribbles over to make it juice again. It's been a very strong lineup here in Rotterdam this week. I mean, those are just the 4 players that have been knocked out, but of course we also have in the draw Medvedev, as I've said. We've also still got Stefanos Tsitsipas, along with Felix Auger-Aliassime and Holger Rune on the seeded side of things, and also Yannick Sinner unseeded, which is an absolute surprise given the fact he's 17 in the world and unseeded at a 500 event. Absolutely mad. We've got a bit of a backhand by Botic, goes long. Medvedev has a game point again. Like I said, please make sure you can hit the like on this video. That'd be excellent. And make sure it's shared with as many people as possible. As I have my cat next to me who's starting to snore, so you start hearing like a small little cat snoring noise. I do apologise, chat. So Medvedev goes down the tee, easy as you like, easiest point. He's probably had all service game to make it 4-1. As I'm just taking some water now. Dutchy is going back to bed. Take care, everyone. Take care, Dutchy. And hopefully, I think, you were the one that was getting het up over Chapo. Of course, Rotterdam is not the only tournament that is taking place this week. We also have another 500 on the WTA, which is taking place in Doha. Still a very strong field at the quarterfinal stage, which is taking place today. Of course, they have their final on the Saturday, whereas all the other tournaments that take place this week have their finals on the Sunday. So they're playing their quarterfinals today on the Thursday. We still got Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Caroline Garcia, and a range of other top players that are still left in the draw at the quarterfinal stage being played at the moment. I know they're just doing a doubles match at this stage before the first singles match takes place. We've also got over on Delray Beach, which was mentioned previously because of Chapo's soirees into the tournament. But that tournament, boasts the likes of Taylor Fritz, who's still in the draw, along with JJ Wolf, Adrian Manarino. Chapo's of course been knocked out, along with Nishikora, but Tommy Paul still remains in that event. And then, of course, there's another 250 taking place on the clay in Buenos Aires. That's, of course, where Carlos Alcaraz played last night. Was in his first game back in 2023. Was able to beat Laszlo Djere in 3 sets. Other notable names of players that are playing in that tournament are Cameron Norrie, the Brit, the first ever Brit to play the Buenos Aires tournament. Literally came through a very tight match, was not playing at all well for large quantities of that, but just about came through in 3 sets and from losing the first set as well against Falco Diaz Acosta, a Argentinian wildcard who's been doing some really good bits on challenger clay courts. And you also have Lorenzo Musetti and a slightly hampered Diego Schwartzman as well, as they're back in play at the moment. There's got a bit of a backhand exchange taking place, and it's backhand wide by Van der Zandschulp. Backhand wide by Van der Zandschulp. Medvedev 15 love up. How he would dearly like to get a second break here. So, Van der Zandschulp going down the line. Medvedev gets a good strong return on that, but it was long by Van der Zandschulp. So we've got a second serve here. Like I said, please make sure you can like this video. That'd be excellent. As we move along there. So Botic, and then we got a bit of a strong hit there by Medvedev, and Botic into the net. Botic into the net. It is now 30-love to Medvedev. Could be getting closer to a potential break. So Botic tries to go up the line, but ends up putting it into the net. So we've got a second serve here. Botic goes up the line. Medvedev, strong backhand. And we've got a bit of a slice backhand competition taking place at the moment between both. And Botic ends up smashing it along. 3 break points to make it 5-1 here for Daniil Medvedev. You feel he gets his break now. This set's pretty much then wrapped up. As Botic looks to the, looks to the heavens, but looks to the roof, of course, because it's an indoor tournament. So Botic just getting himself ready. Medvedev here has 3 break points. So Botic ends up going up the line. Medvedev's able just to get something onto it. And lands just in. And Medvedev goes cross court. Botic's able to get something onto it, but Medvedev tries to run to the ball as it was almost drop shotted over net by Botic, but was unable to get there in the end. So it is 15-40. 15-40 at the moment. So ZANDSCHULP going cross court. Medvedev gets a strong return to it, but only hits it into the net. We are now at 30-40. We're now at 30-40. You can see that Medvedev's not looking entirely pleased with himself. All over the shop, as it usually is with Medvedev. So Botic goes up the tee. Medvedev's able to get a good return onto it. Botic goes across court. Backhand to backhand exchange taking place. Medvedev, though, really showing some aggression. Hits it, keeps illustrating his opponent over both sides of the court. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev into the net. Into the net. Doesn't get it. Doesn't get the break. Now at deuce. We're now at deuce here. Bit of a waste there by Medvedev. Same as when he broke Botic in the first service game for Botic. He has 3 break points, gets to 40-love on his opponent's serve, and isn't able to convert any of them. Will this be costly this time around? But it was as it wasn't last time around. Cross court by Botic, cross court by Medvedev. Medvedev really pushing his opponent from side to side. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, forehand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, forehand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand to backhand, forehand by Medvedev, down the line. Cross court by Medvedev, cross court by Botic, cross court by Medvedev, slice by Botic, forehand at the line by Medvedev. Oh, and then a backhand long by Medvedev. Botic van der Zandschulp is to an advantage on his serve now. Really sticking in there. Really forcing the mistakes out of Medvedev. That seems to be a part of the game plan here by van der Zandschulp, and it is working in parts. It is certainly working in parts. Barring that first service game, which was lost, he's shown some good signs in those rallies. So Botic goes up the tee. Medvedev ends up hitting it wildly long, and it makes it 4-2. Makes it 4-2 here. So not too bad. Well, not too bad. So at 4-2 here for Medvedev. You'd think, given the fact that Medvedev's still in the lead, that may help him when it comes to staying focused in this match. We've seen no gesturing to his box as of yet. So Medvedev tries to go down the tee, ends up hitting the net. So we've got a second serve here. So Medvedev goes cross court, and then we've got a bit of a rally taking place. Backhand by Botic, Forehand by Medvedev, really stretching his opponent wide, and he's unable to get anything substantial on that return as it only hits the top part of the net. So we've got 15 love here to Medvedev, to Daniil. Only 15 love to Daniil. Again, make sure you can like this video. If you've got any comments you want to make about the match or any questions you want to ask, please do put that in the chat as Medvedev hits it long. So Medvedev goes cross-court again. Backhand wildly hit there by Van der ZANDSCHULP. Really wild backhand to make it 30 love to Medvedev. As, of course, it goes beyond, long and beyond the baseline. Long and beyond the baseline. So Medvedev goes cross-court. Botic gets some sort of good return onto it. We've got a backhand exchange taking place by both players. Forehand down the line by Medvedev, able to be got to by Botic. Back down the same top poor part again, sells Van der ZANDSCHULP a dummy. We're at 40 love here. We're at 40 love, which will make Medvedev fans pretty happy that this is starting to look like a better service game than what we've seen previously in the past, or at least in the past service one, which didn't go entirely to plan. And Medvedev is able to hit it straight and long, and only a feeble attempt to be able to get the ball afterwards was played there. So we're at 5-2 here. We're at 5-2 in this match, and because of that strong hold, we will of course play the. Because of that fairly strong hold, we will we'll get a little bit of the Medvedev button in play there. Hope for everyone to enjoy. We can see we've got over 50 people in the stream so far. That is excellent. And the game to... Oh, Oshin, you are ahead of me on this one. Thank you, Oshin, for the reminder. Yes, and we have the game, and that was, of course, a game to love as well. Just what the doctor ordered in the case of Daniil Medvedev. But we probably know that the doctor is ordering Medvedev more than just a game to love at this stage, given the cold that he's got at the moment. He's probably taking some one of those sort of flu medicine things that we've all had when we were kids, or even adults. You never know. Could be something you want there. As Botic is drinking a orange substance which matches the orangeness of his top. I don't know if that was on brand or by choice, but it looks good. It looks good as a porter cool just there. Remind about the events that are on tonight. As I said, Game to Love, of course, will be covering the Tsitsipas versus Sinner match. That kicks off again, like I said, in 6:30 GMT, which is the British time, or British Lisbon, Dublin. Not just British time, but like that sort of on the Universal Standard Time, it's 0 on the clock. But if you're in mainland Europe, that is of course at is +1 ahead, so that'd be 7:30 your time. And then if you live in the States or over in North America, then you go from -4 down to -8, and you work that out afterwards. I'm just trying to recall my best knowledge of time zones. They're a brilliant thing to be able to work out what time in the world somewhere is. As Medvedev is 15 love up on Botic serve at the moment. Good return there by Medvedev. Of course, time zones ended up really causing some issues when it came. I say issues in terms of trying to watch as much tennis as possible during the Australian Open. As Botic tries to go out wide and hits it long. Is that the Australian Open, a brilliant tournament. Just a lot of it takes place at the wrong time of day for anyone living in Europe or North America. Okay. A double fault there by Botic. Goes for a similar type serve, and it goes similarly wrong. Goes beyond the baseline. So sitting at 30 love here for Daniil. So Medvedev, so Botic goes cross court. Daniil with a wild return goes both long and wide. Not good. Not good at all there. This is going to be a fairly strong, a good return here for Van der ZANDSCHULP. Was big a return. Down the line, up the tee there by Medvedev. We got a really strong conducting taking place by Botic. And Daniil ends up lobbing him perfectly to make it 40-15. So Van der ZANDSCHULP ran close to the net, and Medvedev was able to lob him quite effectively, as the ball that he ended up putting over, or at least at the drop shot, was just too weak, and Medvedev was able to, just like a cricketer, effectively tee up his shot and take it up. So cross court there by Van der ZANDSCHULP goes slightly wide, so we're at a second service point here. Are we going to get a break? So strong return there by Medvedev. Up the line by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic. Up the line there by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic. Bit of a backhand exchange taking place. Cross court by Medvedev. And it was long. It was long by Botic. And we have another break. Which means that this guy has the first set. Yes, so Daniil Medvedev takes the first set here at the Amro Open, which is the Rotterdam ATP 500 6-2. He's hit 9 winners to 7 from Botic and had 9 unforced errors to Botic's 21. 21 is a lot for Botic. He isn't a guy that you'd usually associate with a range of unforced errors, but they came aplenty in this service game. And we just have the service stats popping up as well. First serves in, 67-54. First serves won, 67-63. And second serves won, 78-31. So looking at that, Medvedev was stronger on his second serve points than he was on his first. If you can believe that. Well, I think we can believe that. Numbers don't lie. But it's just interesting to see that he's been uber consistent, if not more consistent, on a part of his game that you would expect to be slightly worse, which is a bit weird. Like I said, if you can like this video, that'd be excellent. This almost feels a bit like a warm-up act to, of course, the big one, which is taking place in 5.5 hours' time with the Sinner versus Tsitsipas match. Again, absolutely nuts that game is a second round match at a 500 event in mainland Europe. That is just nuts. That is a second round match. But it shows the strength and depth of this field. Again, an unbelievable. I mean, I think we were all quite taken aback when we saw that the strength of the field. That there was no easy seed that was going to be seeded. All of them were unbelievably hard, and to be able to get a win against at least one of those players would have been a success. Never mind if you were an unseeded player, you would need to probably have got a win against 4 of them, which is going to be hard. Both players have left the court. Funny enough. Both players have left the court. Probably just going to get themselves refreshed, ready. Well, in the case of Medvedev, it'll probably be to try and blow his blow his nose clean again. As we've got this, tell you what, it's a brilliant bit of artwork that they've got playing there. And just a reminder as well of other matches, as we've got the timetable popping up for today in Rotterdam. Of course, after this match, we've got Maxime Cressy, the American serve and volleyer, against the guy who humbled Rublev last night. Which is Alex de Minaur. And then, like we say, not before 7:30 Central European time, 6:30 my time. It is Stefanos Tsitsipas, the top seed, versus Jannik Sinner, and that is followed by the 4th seed Holger Rune, who you could say was slightly unlucky in losing to Maxime Cressy last week. Is taking on the Dutch wildcard, Brouwer, a guy I've not really heard of before. I've seen him pop up on a few challenger draw sheets from time to time, but never somebody I've seen play live. So that'd be interesting watching Holger Rune tonight. And of course, there's other big names playing in Delray and in Buenos Aires. So whichever takes your fancy, tennis has you absolutely covered, as well as having the WTA 500 event over in Doha as well. Which, like I said, just read out the schedule for anyone who's interested in the Doha event. You've got coming up soon Coco Gauff versus Kudermetova. You then got Beatrice Haddad-Maia versus Jessica Pegula, and then Maria Sakkari versus Caroline Garcia. Because of course, yesterday that although Belinda Bencic won her match and to get to a quarterfinal against Iga Swiatek, she has pulled out. So Iga is one of the first players who are through to the semi-finals in Doha. And he's just effectively waiting to find out if it's going to be either Coco Gauff or Kudermetova will be the person that she'll end up facing. Again, absolutely stacked 500 event taking place there. Games kicked off here, so we've got a bit of a back forehand exchange taking place. Up forehand at the line by Medvedev. Strong attempt there by Botic, but ends up banging it into the net. Of course, I think Daniil would want to get this done in two. I don't think anyone on their predictions had Medvedev getting a double break in the first set, but I think those that have Medvedev in two may be feeling a little bit more comfortable at this stage. So we've got a bit of a forehand exchange, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic again, around the corner there by Medvedev, and we are getting some good variations on this baseline exchange. Oh, and it goes long there by Medvedev. Something he will not be too pleased about. So Botic's still looking up at the roof. She's not happy about it. Cross court there by Medvedev. And he goes around the other side. But Botic has got this red. Other line there by Medvedev. Backhand to backhand exchange. Oh, nice backhand by Medvedev. Really unread there by Botic. Cross court there. Medvedev. Oh, and Botic with the running forehand. Absolutely smashes it down the line. Gets the point there. So it's 30-15 here to Botic van der Zandschulp in the beginning of the second set. Are we seeing a slight level drop here by Medvedev? We possibly could be seeing a slight level drop here by Medvedev. We've got a small bounce of the ball. Medvedev cross court and hits the net. So it is 40-15. 40-15 to Botic. Are we going to see an early break here by Botic van der Zandschulp? We certainly quite possibly could be seeing one. Let's see what happens here. So Medvedev tries to go down the line with limited success. Second serve, Botic to attack here. Botic smashes it. Medvedev is just about gets it over, and then Botic van der Zandschulp hits it wide. So Medvedev hits the ball, clips over the net. Of course, the ball loses all its momentum, and with that, Botic runs towards the net. You think he'd have the control of the point, backhands it, tries to go there at the outside of a backhand, but hits it beyond the baseline. Medvedev goes cross court, and Botic's unable to get anything major onto that. So we are now at juice. Juice here. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button. That'd be excellent. I want to get, like I said, up to 25 likes where possible on all these platforms. So we go cross court there by Medvedev. He just hits it long. But juice here at the moment. Cross court by Medvedev. So we've got a bit of a backhand exchange. Forehand there by Medvedev, really long and strong. We've got a bit of a backhand exchange here, really taking the pace of the ball, both players. We've got a bit of a backhand up the line, backhand, a bit of a slice. Really awkward balls, and it is and an attempt to do a backhand down the line. Van der Zandschulp hits it long. What we've got next one? Daz is asking a question. I know Daz, I'll definitely answer that question once we get this game over and done with, which could be very soon if Medvedev has anything to do about it. Medvedev tries to go down the lines. We get a brilliant overhead shot. And he just goes slightly long there. So Medvedev going out wide, backhand there. Oh, really think that over. Medvedev goes for the drop or goes for the lob, and he doesn't get enough distance on it. So ZANDSCHULP was able to easily put that away. ZANDSCHULP was easily able to put that away. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button, share it, share the videos where possible, and you please do comment in the chat if you've got any questions or anything you would like to anything you'd like to say about the match if you're watching alongside. As we start to get the Medvedev sarcastic thumbs up to his box. They have appeared for this match. Down the line there by Medvedev. He's able to run to the net and smash it into the crowd to make it advantage Medvedev. So we get a shot of somebody who obviously works for the tournament, looking slightly awkward as the ball lands nearly nearer. Medvedev down the line, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev. And then Botic tries to go for a drilled forehand. The ball was too low and it hits the net, so it is 1-0 now to Medvedev at the beginning of the second set. So the question here by Daz: when is the next one we see Emma and Murray? I think this means when are Andy Murray and Emma Raducanu due to play next? So Emma Raducanu's next match is due in Austin. That's week commencing the 27th of February. So she's not playing next week, but she'll play the week after. That's at least what she's down for in terms of tournament-wise at the moment. And then after that, of course, it'll be Indian Wells, where she's been given a wild card, but she's free out at the moment, so she'll probably get into the main draw on merit anyway. When it comes, and then Miami as well. She's an IMG player, so she'll definitely get a wild card into the event if she doesn't get in automatically from there. And Andy Murray, his next event is Dubai, where he has a wild card to the event. That's not next week, but the week after, as Botic goes down the tee, and Medvedev is able to get something onto it, but Botic's in control of the point, but sprays it wide. Like I was saying, back to Murray, he is he's due at the Dubai 500. That's on the week commencing the 27th as well. There's a possibility that he may be seeking a wild card for Doha, but at the moment that doesn't look like the case at this stage. Going across the tee there by Botic. No luck, unfortunately, for him. So Botic going up the tee. Medvedev hitting it long. We've got a bit of a backhand exchange now taking place. Botic really trying to take some pressure on the points here. Medvedev, though, with the drop shot and with the success. Medvedev with the drop shot and with the success. He'll be happy about that one. Really good bit of drop shot play there. Of course, what Medvedev will like to do at the moment is just to compound the fact of his control, especially on Van der Zandschulp's serves, to get that early break here in the second. So Botic going for the serve, going cross court. Really good, strong return there by Van der Zandschulp. We've got a really bit of a baseline exchange taking place at the moment. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev. Backhands again. Backhands for days from both players. Forehand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic. Really taking the pace off both of them to try and get the best opportunity. And a mistake is drawn from Van der Zandschulp, who's unable to keep it on the island still. He has again 3 break points. To make it 2-love here at the beginning of the second set. Will he take them? Will he take them here? Botic goes long, goes wide. Second server at the moment. So Botic going deep into the service box, and then we've got a bit of a backhand exchange. Backhand by Botic. Medvedev going up the court. And he tries to go near post, near the player. Van Zandschulp read that and was able just to redirect it out wide. As we got more comments flying through the chat, which is excellent. So hello, Peas. Hello, Emma or Ems. It's good to see you in the chat. Second break point here for Medvedev as Botic hits it into the net. So we've got a second serve here. It does not look good, Van der Zandschulp. Bit of a huff there. Goes up the line. Medvedev's able to get a good, strong return onto it. And then, but a really strong shot there by Botic. And then Medvedev down the line. Oh, and wow. Okay. So Botic hits it to the other side of the court. Medvedev's able to reach it, hits what looks like a down the line winner, which Botic was able to read and able to get something onto it in the end to basically tilt it over to the other side of the net. Really strong play there by Van der Zandschulp, reading where that ball was going to go. Good drop over. So 2 break points are come and gone, and yet again Medvedev has not taken advantage of them. Can he do so on a third? Other line there by Botic, and we've got a strong return there by Medvedev. Medvedev backhand drop shot there by Botic into the net. Into the net. It was a failed drop shot attempt at the baseline by Botic Van der Zandschulp, and it means that he has been broken hard. Medvedev breaks him hard, and of course this guy is in the lead. Medvedev 2-0 up in the middle of a rally at the moment on his first service point as Botic hits it wide. Gene is saying that this is over because he believes that Medvedev has got this. And do you know what, Gene? I don't think a lot of people in the chat would disagree with you at this stage. The former top 10 player, Grand Slam champion, will he just see this through? Oh, but he hits a return. Well, he hits a third ball there, wildly wide there, as it is now 15 all. 15 all. Medvedev's not looked entirely comfortable in his own service game. Again, the level isn't there. I've seen Medvedev play a damn sight better than this in a lot of matches, especially ones we got covered on GTL at the points last year. So Medvedev going across the court. Good return there by Botic. And as such, he is 30-15 up. So good start. And Michael's saying that Gene knows his tennis. He certainly does, Michael. He certainly does. Again, make sure you hit the like button. Medvedev smashes it into the net. Could we be looking at some more break points here for Botic? So Medvedev goes out wide. Botic is able to just stretch to it. But we've got a bit of a run off there as Medvedev's able to dink it cross court at the net to make it 30 all, leaving Botic Van der Zandschulp stranded in no man's land effectively with that point, really stretching his opponent out wide. Medvedev was there. Really good bit of play. But I tell you what, the aces and the unreturns have really been kept to a minimum in this match. They're not really flowing from Medvedev's serve, which they usually do in many games. So Medvedev going down the tee. Botic is able to scramble to it, but scramble it just onto the line, and is able to get the break point. So a scrambling return there by Botic just about clips the edge of the line, which is excellent. We can see it's a bit of an excellent return. Really ends up neutralizing the point, and Medvedev is only able to hit it back passively for Van der Zandschulp to really take control of that point. Break point here for Botic Van der Zandschulp. Down the line by Medvedev, and Botic's unable to get anything onto that. We are now back to juice. That break point was now only a distant memory. As Shelley is saying, woohoo for meds. I mean Medvedev in that scenario and not medication. So then we're going down the line there by Medvedev. No luck on that one there. Down the line again by Medvedev, and Botic was able to really take control of that. Gene is pointing out that Botic is not taking his chances. He certainly isn't at this stage. That was a really strong return there by Botic, as Medvedev's doing a sarcastic rolling over sign to his box as he ends up hitting it a lot wide, and as we go to the second serve. So Medvedev goes down the tee. Botic's able to get something onto it, but it hits it beyond the tram lines, closer more to the doubles line than the actual singles line. But Medvedev really at least showing his clutchness in those big pressure points to get them won and get them done. As I just take on some water. Okay, so Medvedev going for his serve here. Going down the tee. Botic is unable to get anything onto that, and he just ends up hitting it into the net. So we've got advantage here for Medvedev. Of course, Medvedev's looking to make it 3-love here on his service game. So Medvedev goes cross court. Botic's able to get something onto it. Medvedev runs to the net, drop shots it, and is able just to be able to. Botic got some return on that, shoved it to the other side of the court, or at least cross court. Medvedev was able though to get to it in time and to be able to stick it down the line with a very sort of dinky backhand. As we got something in the chat there about the soundbar upgrading. That's good to see that all's giving some ideas about what's the best way of listening to audio and the usage of technology. So Medvedev still doesn't look happy with himself, but he is 3-love up here in this set. Botic isn't looking the happiest of people, and of course, if Medvedev wishes to beat Felix Auger-Aliassime, which is his next round opponent, he's going to have to show a much greater, how best to describe this, less unforced errors. He's going to have to be much more aggressive at certain points and to keep that focus and concentration. That's always the case. Along there. So I probably said about the matches that we've got coming up. Of course, tournaments that are taking place next week. This is, of course, the first 500 event of the year here in Rotterdam, but the second 500 event of the year takes place next week and on the clay in Rio. Big names that are due to be played there are Carlos Alcaraz, Cameron Norrie, Lorenzo Musetti, Diego Schwartzman, Francesco Cerundolo, as we see Medvedev blow his nose again. I tell you what, the Kleenex type companies in the Netherlands are going to make an absolute killing from this tournament this week, it seems. Botic just gets himself ready. Just hit the ball around. Of course, Medvedev here would like to get another break just to really solidify it here in the last set, of at least what the last set would be for him if he was to win this set. As we get a shot out wide there by Botic. So we're going on the line there. Just goes wide. It doesn't actually hit the line. I called that wrong. It actually went wide. So Medvedev 15-love up already in this service game. I feel a bit sorry for the Dutch fans here. They've come to see the hometown hero, and it's not really worked out at the moment for them. I'll say home country hero. Down the line by Botic. Good strong return there by Medvedev. Got a bit of a forehand exchange taking place there. Medvedev is showing a good bit of control, and Botic just hits it long on a return. 30-love to Medvedev. Got to say as well that Daniil did this in the previous game. Daniil did consolidate in the previous game just to make sure that we get that button shown. As we are 30-love to Medvedev at the moment here in the second set. So Botic goes down the line. Medvedev's able to get something onto it, but it only hits it wide. So we're at 30-15 at the moment. 30-15 at the moment. Yeah. See me. Down the line by Botic. We've got the backhand exchange taking place here between both players. You say Botic's sort of in control of the point at the moment. backhand to backhand by Medvedev, creeping forward, backhand again by Medvedev to the feet of Botic, backhand by Medvedev into the net. He was caught at no man's land for large periods at that point, and it showed, only able to hit it into the net after hitting it to the bottom of the feet of Botic there. So Botic just getting himself set up as we are 30 all here. So Botic goes cross court. Medvedev, strong return, but hits it long. It's a strong hit, but hits it long. Really not happy with his box. Really sort of shouting the odds, you could say at this stage. Again, make sure you hit the like button on this video once I saw the little comment thing that's popped up when I get to 100 likes. Down the tee, and we've got a backhand to backhand though, wide by Botic. Backhand wide by Botic, meaning it is now juice. It's now juice here. Like I said, if you've got any questions that you want me to have a go at answering, could be tennis related, or if you want to ask any, I say you can ask any personal questions, but not anything too personal. About me, I'm happy to answer them in the chat, or any comments you got about the match. As Botic hits it wide, Medvedev now has a break point here. Please do put in the chat, and please do make sure we hit the like button. Let's see what there's 70 people watching, which is excellent. Excellent to see. Okay, so as Botic on the goes for the hit there, goes out wide but hits it long. So we've got a second serve here for Botic. Medvedev, of course, will want to take full advantage of this, get this double break in the bag at the moment. So he gets himself geared up. So Botic goes down the tee. Medvedev, weakish sort of return, sort of scrounging in his point, and that was seen by the fact that Botic was able to run straight to the net. Unfortunately, that return by Medvedev was just too short, way too short, and ZANDSCHULP was able to get on top of that pretty straightforwardly. Yep, Gene, there is the possibility that he could get breadsticked or bageled. We have a bageled button, which I haven't used yet, and possibilities we could end up using it. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, up the line by Medvedev, really good one there. And then Medvedev is scrounging at the moment, as it was a good return there by ZANDSCHULP, and Medvedev was unable to do anything about that lob. He was unable to do anything about that lob. Yeah, a bit of a weird backhand bit there. There was a really good sort of tiki-taka sort of play at the net at the moment. Medvedev gets himself sorted, ready and in position. Down the line by Botic, back up the line by Medvedev. Really strong bits of play there by Botic. And Botic is able to at least win his service game there. So we're now at 3-1. And because of the fact that he's able to save so many break points, we're going to roll out the Botic button.
Botic and the ZANDSCHULP. Botic and the ZANDSCHULP.
Yeah, a bit of a roll out of the Botic button as he was able to at least save so many break points and his own service points there. So Medvedev goes for the serve, goes out wide. Botic's able to get something onto it, as Botic really is in control at this point, and Medvedev only flails it long, and he gives the sarcastic thumbs up sign to his team. It doesn't look good for Medvedev's mental state here. He did this in the last match against Davidovich Fokina, where he was gesturing to his box a lot and really having a go at them as he goes down the line there, and is able to he was just about to be able to win that point there. It was a wild hit by ZANDSCHULP. But he was gesturing a lot to his box last game, and he's gesturing now, which clearly shows that, one of the things we saw, especially in 2021, back end of 2021, when he won his Grand Slam at the US Open, that gesturing wasn't there. He was able to control his emotions much more. They're much more prevalent at the moment these days. I mean, and that's a worry if you want to see Medvedev doing well is he needs to control those points as he goes a forehand up the line, and it only a bizarre hit by Botic. Oh no, weird smash there by Medvedev, straight to Botic. Point still in motion, backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic, up the line there by Medvedev. Botic was scrounging for that good recovery in the end from Medvedev, but it was a smash straight to Botic. It was neither cross court nor down the line. It was straight in the middle of the court, straight to Botic, and he was able to get a good return onto that. Again, concentration spans by Medvedev aren't there to any real great degree. Down cross court by Botic, but it was hit long on the return there by Botic. So it is 40-15 to Medvedev. Looking maybe like a bit of a comfortable service game possibly here for Daniil. Bit of a comfortable service game for Daniil possibly here. Daniil up the line, cross court again by Daniil, down the line by Botic. Botic goes to the drop shot. Daniil goes cross court by Botic, cross court by Daniil, cross court by Botic, cross up the line by Medvedev. Medvedev comes into the court, and Botic is only able to, on a return, hit it into the net. It is now 4-1 to this guy. Yeah, so we are sitting here at 4-1 in the second set. Like I said, which is this, of course, is the second match of the day here in Rotterdam. Again, really strong matches happening throughout, and of course, what will happen is the winner of this match will play Felix Auger-Aliassime, and it would be an absolutely brilliant matchup to get Daniil Medvedev versus Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals here at the Rotterdam 500. Trying to think of the last time that they would have played. I'm sure somebody in the chat, if you have a better memory of me, will be able to put in when that last took place. I do know that they played in the Australian Open last year, which was a thrilling 5-setter. But I'm more than certain that they've definitely played before that at a point. I will just see if I can search up as well if that has actually taken place at a given point. Just get the looks in both players' eyes. Again, I think what Gene probably said earlier on may be ringing true. It does look like Botic is maybe slightly hampered here, but of some degree, because you'd expect a bit of a better play here by Botic. But then yet again, it could be a range of other factors that could be playing for this sort of result. I say result this to take place the way it has. So yeah, like I said, so Daniil Medvedev versus Felix is a 4-0 record to Daniil, and it was the Australian Open last year was the last time that they played each other in that thrilling 5-set epic. But they played each other previously at the ATP Cup, the US Open, and the Canada Masters throughout the years. Botic goes out wide. Medvedev, good strong return. Backhand by Medvedev, backhand by Botic, backhand by Medvedev, forehand by Botic. Botic sort of taking control of the point here. Medvedev, though, is able to run to the net on the drop shot and is just able to win that point with a bit of a scrap at the net which takes place there. Again, make sure you hit the like button on this video. That'd be fantastic. And share where you can. Certainly share where you can. As I say, it was a brilliant little bit of a tiki-taka play at the net there by Botic and also by Medvedev. So Van der Zandschulp goes out wide. Medvedev's able to get a good return onto it, but Botic runs to the net. Good bit of serve and volley as Botic sticks the ball to the other side of the court. Yeah, strong bit of serve and volley. Very Maxime Cressy-esque. He would be happy about that. And of course, he's the next player to be on this court. It was not before 1:30, but we're or 2:30 Central European time, and we've pretty much got to that time at the moment. As Medvedev on the return hits it into the net, so Van der Zandschulp is 30-15 up. Yeah, it is Cressy versus Alex de Minaur, which should be an interesting match. So Van der Zandschulp just getting himself set up, getting himself ready. Is it down the tee? Medvedev, good strong return. Really wild there by Van der Zandschulp. Goes for literally, winds it up, adds the accelerator Brewster Rockets to the forehand, and ends up hitting it absolutely wide. If it was a cricket match, it would be a 6, or probably be a 4. But it was, but it certainly wasn't in. Certainly wasn't in the bounds of play. So Van der Zandschulp goes out wide. No luck there. We're at 30-30 or 30 all here on Van der Zandschulp's serve. Medvedev would like a second break, just to make it a little bit easier. Down the line, Medvedev, strong return. Really strong forehand there by Van der Zandschulp. Goes for a similar type shot as though he went as the one he went to the point before, but was able to keep it in the island this time. That's pretty good to see. Really pushing Medvedev back from point to point. So Medvedev literally standing. I mean, what's quite interesting by that shot was that Medvedev was standing really far back, like literally by the boardings, by the digital boardings at the back of the court, to return a lot of these shots. Now we know Medvedev is prone from having a really far back starting position when it comes to his returning serve, as we now get to 4-2. But again, that shots like that just show how far back he is and how far back he's prepared to be to try and return a lot of these balls. So Medvedev goes to a shot out wide, is able to get something onto it, but ends up on a return by Van der Zandschulp, hits it good and long onto the island, and Medvedev is only able to hit it long with his third shot. So at 15 love here to Botic Van der Zandschulp. Cross court by Medvedev, absolutely no problem. Hits the spot perfectly. 15 all. Brilliant ace there by Daniil. As Daniil just goes to collect the new balls that he's wishing to pick up. So Medvedev goes out wide. Botic's able to get something onto it, and then cross court by Medvedev, and Botic's able to get another bit into it, but the drop shot there. Oh, we've got a bit of a small drop shot play taking place there as Medvedev hits it wide. The ball goes back behind Medvedev. He's ended up flailing at it to try and get it back cross court, and is only able to hit it wide beyond the tram lines. There. I mean, at the moment, Van der Zandschulp seems to be able to read Medvedev's serves out wide on the juice side, so he probably needs to maybe change that up to a degree. But he goes out wide on the advantage side and actually gets another ace. So we're at 30 love here. Like I said, make sure comment in the chat if you've got any questions. Make sure you also like this video as well, like the stream. Out wide again by things. Same serve again. Botic though. No deadliness here. We've got a exchange across the court. What a shot down the line by Medvedev. Cross court by Medvedev. Backhand by Botic. Ooh, really loopy one there by Medvedev. Able to save it though. Backhand long there by Van der Zandschulp. Goes for the slice backhand and hits it long beyond the baseline. A litany of errors for both players really at that point. Just Medvedev was able to get away with it in one of his ones. And we just have the unforced error tallies come up. So Medvedev sitting at 14 for the match, whereas Van der Zandschulp sitting at 34. That's quite a lot. It's way too much against a player like Medvedev. Medvedev, cross court. Nothing gets onto it by Van der Zandschulp. We're now at 5-2. And it kind of feels, and I don't want to tempt fate by saying this, it kind of feels as though we may be coming to the end of this match here. Those that predicted to Medvedev in straight sets, your prediction may be coming true quite well here. As another bit of color combination takes place as Botic is eating a yellow banana. Meanwhile, Medvedev's taking some sort of like protein type energy gel that he's making sure that he gets every facet as much as possible outside the packet. It's interesting. It's really interesting to see actually players and what they eat and what they take on board throughout the match. I know that Murray is a big fan of gels, but I know somebody like Dominic Thiem likes to eat something that looks like a bit of a Rocky Road fruity type bar. Different players have different ways of actually intaking quick energy throughout a match. I think I saw one player once at an American tournament was drinking a Red Bull. I don't think that's entirely the best drink to be drinking if you're only about to head out and play tennis. I would probably think drinking a carbonated drink would be probably the worst thing you could possibly do. But for some players, they quite like drinking carbonated drinks. This is a bit of a silence hushes here on the court. They've really done a really good thing with the outsides of the court this year, especially with the new logo which they've got for the tournament, which is excellent the way in which they put it together, and the like I said, the new walk-on system that they've got where the players sort of come down from one of the baseline stands, and with all the lights that sort of seems to be streaming off the tennis ball as well as the logo, really looks aesthetically really pleasing. So a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange and backhand long by Van de Zandschulp. Remember, if Medvedev breaks him here, he wins the match. Which is key to remember. So Van de Zandschulp goes down the tee, goes wild down the tee or wide down the tee. And again, goes. He ends up clipping the net on the way over, and it clips the net and pushes it long, and it means that Medvedev love 30 to Medvedev, 2 points away. Daniil is now from a quarterfinal. At a tournament he's never won, which is for somebody who's won pretty much near enough all the indoor tournaments that you can be on the circuit, he's never won this one. Who'd like to change that? You'd think this year. So, second serve here for Botic. Goes out wide. Medvedev, strong push up the line. Backhand by Medvedev. Dinked. Backhand by Botic. Forehand by Medvedev. Forehand by Botic. By Botic long. And it means we get...
match point.
It is match point here for Daniil Medvedev on Van de Zandschulp's serve. Can he take it? Van de Zandschulp's just looked at the races today. He's looked, a bit leggy, making way too many unforced errors. Is he going to get punished here with a 6-2, 6-2 loss? Goes cross court. Medvedev, strong return. Then Van de Zandschulp. Medvedev goes up Medvedev with a strong forehand cross court as Medvedev Botic runs to the net, but hits it long. So we have another match point. Well, I say another match point. We've got 3 match points here. So that's 1 out of 3 not taken by Daniil. So Daniil's just getting himself ready in position. Botic goes for the serve, goes out wide. It is long out wide, so it is a second serve here. It is a second serve. So Botic goes through the court. Medvedev, an attempt of a strong forehand up the line, but hits it wide. Again, the sarcastic remarks to his team. You're 6-2, 5-2 up. Why are you giving sarcastic remarks to your team? God only knows. As we get... No idea. Sorry, Hassan, I have no idea what you're talking about there. Okay, cross court by Daniil. Oh, bit of a backhand there. Then Medvedev and Botic hits it long beyond the tram lines. The match is over. Daniil Medvedev has beaten Botic Van de Zandschulp, as most people would expect, 6-2, 6-2. In what feels like it's just been around about an hour and 30, hour and 35-ish minutes, as he's just celebrating to the crowd. And whilst he's celebrating that, we will give one final look to the Medvedev button. Yeah, it was an hour and 25 in the end. I got that slightly wrong, as Medvedev was putting on his watch there. So, again, it was Medvedev I mean, they always say this when it comes to football teams, that if you can win when you're not playing well, things are going well, or things are going in the right direction. And Medvedev did not play well at all there, but he got the job done. He got the job done like he did against Alejandro Dalovich Fokina, except this time around he managed to get it done in straight sets, which will make him even happier. Only spending an hour and 20 on court, especially as he's going to be back on court tomorrow to play Felix Auger-Aliassime, which is going to be a real barnstorming match. Which is, as much as all these matches in Rotterdam are shaping up to be, as we get some stats that fire across the screen here. Well enough, only 6 aces for Daniil Medvedev in this match. You'd expect more from Medvedev. I don't need to rush any bit here. But yeah, so he sets up that match tomorrow. That's one of the first of the completed quarter-final lineups that we've got set up. And we should get the next one set up as well once we get the Cressy Alex de Minaur match finished along there. But all that's left to say is I hope you enjoyed this stream here. Those that predicted Medvedev in 2, you are correct. We don't want to hear that, Tom. If Thomas said that's okay, that'd be excellent. Yeah, so like I said, I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you predicted Medvedev in 2, really good prediction. Maybe you should put money on it. That would have been you may have got a little. Well, it would have been a small amount because Medvedev did come in as the favourite. But the main thing to say is I hope that you're able to enjoy some more of the events that are taking place at Rotterdam. Like I said, there's also other tournaments taking place in Buenos Aires, in Doha, and in Delray Beach this time of year. Of course, we're at the point in the year of February of having loads of smaller tournaments dotted throughout the year. Plenty of opportunities for a lot of players to be able to pick up titles, and their first titles ever or first titles of the year, and all that lovely stuff. So, I hope you all enjoyed this, as we will bring this stream to an end. And remember, log back on 6:30 British time, 7:30 Central European time for what is shaping up to be a cracker, a repeat of the 4th round at the Australian Open. Stefanos Tsitsipas, the number 1 seed, against the unseeded Jannik Sinner. And yeah, see you lot later on.